Hello and welcome to this vlog where I will discuss the straight leg skip. And there's certainly many areas in which this drill can be applied, but initially I will just touch on how we can integrate this drill into the context of football and the football players. So why would we use this drill then? Well, unfortunately in football there's an overrepresentation of hamstring injuries. And therefore it's suitable as an injury prevention tool for the healthy players, and also it fits in nicely into a hamstring rehabilitation program, and in particular the stage after the subacute phase and prior to commencing high-speed running. Now let's just briefly mention the main technical aspects. We target a strong vertical body position, keeping the ankle stiff while attacking the ground, and a swing leg that can maintain that knee extension towards approximately 45 degrees of hip flexion. And at that top position, the ankle is locked in, and the hamstrings and glutes are utilized to quickly drive back towards the ground. And I'd stress that we don't need to encourage further hip flexion here, as we also want to resemble the kinematics of high-speed running. And in the late swing phase, there's high eccentric or isometric forces acting on the hamstrings, and basically we observe similar hip flexion angles as in the drill. So now I'll run through two different faults that I feel is quite common among players, and the first one relates to that hip and knee control of the swing leg. In this example, we see exaggerated hip flexion together with an inability to maintain a straight swing leg. And by freezing the picture, the faults become even more obvious. Of course, this could be due to poor motor control, but we certainly need to find out whether the movement problem derives from a lack of capacity at the ankle to produce sufficient vertical force quickly. If the ankle capacity is the issue, then we need to take a step back, and depending on the level of the player, we might start with a top float skip. When this is appropriately managed, we can progress towards an ankle skip, and finally the ankle bound. And with all these drills, we target that reactive capacity of the triceps sura and Achilles tendon complex by emphasizing that strong vertical position and short contact times. And perhaps it's reasonable to start with these drills on a harder surface to better take advantage of that stretch shortening cycle. And once the skill is mastered, we can move back into the sport-specific environment, and in football that would be grass. The second fault to consider is inefficient trunk control, which in my experience mainly occurs in the sagittal plane. And it's important to get this right so that we can minimize any energy leaks and target the coordinative activation of the glutes and hamstrings more effectively. A useful corrective exercise for this movement problem could be the straight leg march. And here we keep the movement fairly intact. However, we reduce the degrees of freedom, and thereby the task is a bit easier to control. And to correct for that flexed trunk movement that is going on, a relevant external cue would be to tell the athlete to imagine that someone's pulling the head of the athlete upwards towards the sky. And with that, hopefully the athlete can maintain that vertical posture throughout the drill. So when the player has reached the level where he or she can perform the straight leg skip by maintaining that tall position, ankles that are snapping off the ground, and good control of the swing leg, we may progress further into a straight leg shuffle where we add more of that velocity-specific hamstring strength. Right, so to summarize, the straight leg skip is useful both for rehab and for injury prevention to target that glute-ham coordination and the specific hamstring strength needed in the late swing phase of sprinting. To perform the movement correctly, we do need an appropriate level of ankle stiffness as well as good trunk control, so it'd be wise to address any limitations there prior to working on this drill. Thanks a lot for watching.